What the fuck is that, Sulkin? I've never heard of that before. I'll look that up. What? Holy shit. A YouTuber who crashed his Camaro into a packed taxi is being charged with homicide. You said he's still uploading videos right now? 6 people died in this. This is terrible. You said he uploaded an apology. And still uploading as of a day ago.
Bienvenidos.
So he was drunk driving and killed 6 people. I'm assuming these are the apology videos.
Después de lo que sucedió, tuve que tomar decisiones. Y una de ellas fue la...
I thought that was going to put it in English. Okay, I guess there's not English subtitles on it. Let me see if I can find something. Thanks for the 5 gift subs, Venom. Good to see you. Hope you had a good day. Thanks to the resub, Mihail, Unknown, Low-Key, Dilly, Hokage, and Tier 1 Butterball. And the bits Tadoya and Sulkin. Well, I mean, I'm just gonna see if I can find like a transcript. Oh, here we go. See, that was easy. He apologized to the families of those who died. He explained, among other things, that he chose to distance himself from the network out of respect for the families and victims involved. Furthermore, he stated that he had distanced himself from the network because he did not want it to become a media circus, and so that would not interfere with the legal process he was doing for the accident. I had to make decisions after what happened, and one of them was to get away from social networks. I did it for the honor of the victims, for the honor of the families, because I didn't want such a terrible event, tragedy, and media let it become a circus. Also, I didn't want it to interfere with the legal process I'm doing, because they have to understand that I am in a complicated legal process. Wow, that's a crazy apology video. Thanks, resub Pink and the Prime, Darth, Weed, and Fizzy. Thanks to the 2 gift subs, Brad and the Prime. Text. Well, I mean, apparently it was drunk driving, so that's just unforgivable. There's no apology he could ever make. Drunk driving, killing 6 people. I can't believe he's not in jail. He allegedly crashed head-on into the taxi while driving over the speed limit toward oncoming traffic. He was in the wrong lane. So this was in September. Is this still an ongoing thing? I would hope. And he made it out alive. That's how it always happens in drunk driving cases. I swear to God, 95% of drunk driving fatalities, the drunk driver, is the only survivor. Almost every fucking time. I don't fully understand it. I remember one of the things I read was like, when the person's drunk, their body doesn't tense up, so they just like ragdoll around more, so the injuries are lessened. And then another thing I read contradicted that. But all in all, I don't know why it's so prevalent that the drunk driver is the one to survive. It's so fucking crazy. It's so frustrating. %. It's an exaggeration. It's just a large number. In the vast majority of drunk driving fatalities, the drunk driver survives. It's such a big thing that they have studied it and try and find out why it's the drunk driver that survives. Obviously, there's not an actual statistic to calculate exactly the number of drunk driving accidents with a surviving driver being the drunk one. I'll look it up, but I don't think there's going to be any. What percentage of drunk drivers survive a crash? Let's see. After crunching numbers, a study conducted in 2022 said that drivers had a 65% higher chance of survival than the... no, it just cut off. 65% higher chance of survival than the drivers and passengers who they hit. And then another study found a statistically significant difference in the fatality rate for drunk drivers versus the victims who suffered. Here's the resub. Cutie Guard, Ahmed, Gian, Rigo, Tango. Oh, hey Tango. Zyfor, Old Man, Gracie, and the gift sub Cheshire. The Prime Liquid and the resub, Marcy and Paxel. And the Bit Stang. And Adonis and Tadoya. Probably because they're the ones hitting the people head on. The tense part, I can't imagine that's too relevant considering the people they hit have no idea and therefore don't brace. Well, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I couldn't explain it. I have no idea. Even in this article going further down, one of the things they say may attribute to that number being so high is because of their being limp. Here, and here's another one. There's a theory that drunk drivers don't necessarily get less injured than the sober drivers, but they're less likely to die. The theory revolves around the idea that the body's response to the injury, rather than the severity of the injury, determines whether an injury ends up being fatal, and alcohol helps numb the body's physical reaction to the trauma. Research at County Harbor, UCLA supports this theory. They recorded fatality rates between 2004 and 2008 and found that 1% of drunk patients died of their injuries, while 7% of sober patients died from theirs. The national data covering 14,000 patients reviewed by Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles showed that 7.7% of drunk patients with significant head injuries died, compared to the 9.7% of sober patients with the same injuries. Yep. Pretty fucking wild. Hey Jojo, good to see you. Thanks for the resub, and thanks to the Prime Can and the resub Sodden. And the bits Grustifer. How many did they study? That said 14,000. Here's another fun one, though. About 30% of all traffic crash fatalities in the US involve drunk drivers. Not applicable to this situation, but no, this is just a ton of drunk driving statistics. He's the Prime Bruce, Icy, and the Resub Strange. And Bits to Doya, Johnny, and the Resub Trolls. Raising the drinking age didn't solve anything. I don't know where that's coming from. Yeah, I mean, that would never solve drunk drivers. It's just stupid fucking people. In 2023, there is absolutely no excuse for it. There are so many means of getting home. Thanks the resub, Debbie. And the bits bub. And the resub Lotus. And there's the bits Gibbs. Yeah, I didn't really do too much today. What an awful situation. I'm hoping that his continued posting on YouTube isn't indicative of him being off the hook for the 6 deaths that he caused from drunk driving. I'm optimistic that it's still ongoing and he's trying to just squeak as much out of the channel as he can before he goes to prison. These are the bits taxed in Tadoya. It will be at the end of the month taxed. Well, not a restock, the 2.0. I've seen that one, Gibbs. Thanks to the resub Nugget and the 5 gift subs Venom and the resub CD. We're playing Wulong in a bit. To be fair, his community absolutely despises the guy. I mean, it's hard to forgive a drunk driver who kills 6 people, one of them being a 10-year-old girl. Yeah, I imagine he lost his community pretty hard with that one. But he's not in prison, clearly. What a wild situation. Jesus fucking Christ. That just made me real mad. Hopefully it's just an ongoing case. Thanks the resub Brish. And the resub Lance. What if he wasn't drunk? Well, of the 2 articles I read reporting on it, it was apparently intoxicated driving. But I guess let's say it wasn't drunk driving. Why the fuck was he going the wrong way down a road and then a head-on collision with a taxi? I don't know how you make the mistake of going the wrong way on a road, unless it was a real confusing road. Yeah, it was a head-on collision with a taxi. He was going down the wrong fucking side of the road. I just don't see that being a common mistake sober people make. The only time that's almost happened to me is I didn't see the one-way sign in, like, downtown Tampa once. But then I noticed, oh, the cars are coming at me. That's probably not the right way to go. So I didn't turn there. It seems like such a hard mistake to make if you're sober. Harder when there's no cars coming at you. Yeah, I guess if there was no cars coming at me, it would have taken me a second longer, but even still, like, it's a very difficult and a very specific set of circumstances that would lead to a sober driver somehow going the wrong way and then colliding head-on with a car. Is the resub Aweon and Lion and Lance? You see Aaron Yeager is coming to Fortnite? Yeah, I did see that.
Bienvenido.
Wild. Absolutely wild.